Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hashtag Pick Me. Today, we will be discussing things I wish I knew about dating before I started dating. Number one, these are actually notes from my personal experiences. Number one, the dating process and what it means to date. So, I always thought dating was just like, oh, I have a boyfriend, and that's it. But that's not like dating. Eh, when I say okay, there's dating where you have someone that you are dating and that's your boyfriend or your girlfriend, but then there's like courtship dating, and what I'm talking about now is courtship dating. And so what I wish I knew is that I don't have to say yes to the first person that asks me out. Like the first person that I have interest in. It's really what you should give yourself space for. What the point of this point is that you want to be able to know the person first. And that normally comes with going on dating, before you ask that person to be your boyfriend or girlfriend so that you can see if you truly are compatible. And I believe personally that it is okay for you to go on dates with multiple people. You're not committed to someone yet. You are figuring them out, basically building a foundation of friendship with potential partners. And whoever checks off everything on your list, then that dating process can be furthered into titleship of boyfriend and girlfriend, which just means that you are off the market, you're no longer in the dating pool, right? And then fiance simply means that I want you to be my wife or my husband. And then it's like the pre-marriage step, you know what I mean? It's asking, will you marry me? Oh my god, I literally made a video like this that I never posted, but word for word, this is crazy. And so, yeah, sorry, that was a deja vu moment. And then husband and wife is when you're just fully committed to each other, you know what I mean? I would hope fiance also means that you're fully committed to each other. But marriage, like you're in it to win it. You're locked in. If you don't believe in a prenup, then you're like literally the same everything. So there's just a bigger commitment there, you know what I mean? All right, so that was number one, the dating process and what it means to date. Number two, there are a billion people. This kind of ties into number one because you don't have to feel pressured or rushed. You know what I mean? If it doesn't work out, there are a billion other people. I'm sure there's someone out there that's a perfect match for you. And I don't think that you should ever get into a relationship out of fear, thinking that you won't find someone else. That's a lie. There's so many other people. You just have to get out there and talk to them, and experience life. Um, so yeah, so just don't take just anything from anybody. Really think about what you want in a significant other, write those things out, and then don't settle for less than that list. Okay? There are a billion people is literally the phrase for don't be afraid, don't feel pressured. You got this. Number three is okay. The rest of these, like 3 through 6, all can be underneath the umbrella of independence. So I just talked with a girl. I'm not gonna say her name because it's privacy policy. But we had a really good conversation, and she told me that her and her boyfriend live maybe 5 minutes away from each other, and they see each other 2 to 3 times a week, and that's it. This might sound really crazy, but when she was telling me about their relationship, it sounded so healthy, and I realized the main key to that healthiness was independence. And I'll explain those to you now. So, self care. A big thing for me, I'm going to use this as an example, is my Saturdays. My Saturdays is my time to rejuvenate, right? I pour back into my own cup. And what I like to do is I like to sleep in. I like to shampoo my hair. I like to do my nails, and I like to do my toes, manicure and pedicure, right? So those are my Saturdays, and I literally like to do absolutely nothing, like whether it's scroll, read, lay in bed, like literally I just become one with my bed or like just something where my mind doesn't have to think, okay? Those are my Saturdays. Saturdays are my rest days, my self-care days, and they're very important to me. Now, in a relationship, I would often like discard those self-care days to go spend time with my partner. Do I think that's wrong? I didn't, but now I kind of see how it did like affect me, probably doing more harm than good. I sort of I didn't set a boundary basically. Um okay, number 4 is own interests. So I believe it's very important to not merge into the person that you're with, to not become them. Have you ever seen like those couples where like one starts dating, they're dating and then one literally turns into like a copy of the other person? I think that's often because like I don't know, it could be like a fear of abandonment or just like attachment. I don't know like the psychology behind it fully. I think it could also be different for multiple people. That's probably why I'm having a hard time processing it. But basically, I just believe it's important to have your own interests and things that you like doing, like by yourself and some with your partner. But for this point, it's by yourself. Have something that you enjoy, and then don't lose sight of that whenever you get into a relationship because that is part of who you are. I'm not saying that you can't do the same things that your partner does. If you guys do the same things before dating, then great, you can do them together. But I also would probably do them alone. It's still healthy to have me time, alone time, even when I'm in a relationship, which leads me to number 5, which is having your own friends. I also believe this is so important. Like, I think it's just healthy to have a community outside of your partnership. I feel like sometimes couples can be so codependent and clingy to one another that like you rarely have time for your friends. And then next thing you know, like your friends are on the back burner. And I don't think that's healthy, which leads me to number 6. I mentioned this before, but boundaries. Let's dive into it now. It's so important to set boundaries, and everything I listed underneath that umbrella of independence, you have to set healthy boundaries to where you basically make rules that you're not going to neglect those things or those people or those times. Um, and I can make like a whole other video on boundaries, so I'm probably gonna do that. Um, but yeah, basically just not neglecting yourself, not neglecting who you are as a person and the things that you like to do, not neglecting independence. Boundaries sets rules to not neglect independence. Okay. So number 7, this is a big one. Trauma. Oftentimes our child not I mean often, like literally every time, our childhood shapes who we are today, whether we like it or not. And a lot of times it has to do with negative things. And I say negative things just because of how they can harm the relationship that you have with your friends, with your family, and with your partner. Um, for example, for me, something that was very hard for me to do was open up about my feelings. I just never liked opening up about my feelings, and that had a lot to do with how I was raised in my childhood. And I do not blame anybody for that. Like, we talked it over, and I do feel healed from that. Thank the Lord. Like, I just simply communicated how I was feeling. Yeah, we just had like a 2-hour conversation and it just like completely changed our dynamic and I'm so thankful for that. Um yeah. So people change and people grow and like I was so scared to have that conversation because like I didn't know how it was going to be taken, but like people mature, people, develop new mindsets, new perceptions and perspectives and I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity and now I'm able to go and like I cry in front of my parents and like they give me hugs and they wipe my tears and like those intimate moments, I would say it's weird for me, but it's not. It's so comforting. It's like so healing. My shoulders just dropped thinking about it. That says a lot. But yeah, so with that, not being able to open up about how I'm feeling or why, like I wear my emotions on my sleeve, so like why I'm not happy, I would be like, I don't know, or nothing's wrong, when that wasn't the case. I just didn't want to talk about my feelings. And it often like not led to arguments, but it, like just created distance. And that's just as dangerous as like unhealthy arguments. Healthy arguments are good. Unhealthy arguments, not good. Um, so yeah. If you want to know like the difference between like what a healthy argument is, I did upload a video. It should be the video before this video. So just look at the date. I believe it's called like longevity of relationships or something like that. Okay. Next one, anxious versus anxious avoidant or avoidant. If you don't know what this is, I highly recommend that you read into it and look into it. I am, or I guess was, an anxious attacher. And what I learned is that anxious people or anxious hearts often attract avoidant hearts. And I had no idea that was the case. But when I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense now. Like, I can see why all of these things happened in my relationships. So, yeah, I what I can say is that I highly recommend reading the book Anxious Hearts. And I just brought the new book called Anxious Avoidant or something like that. Both by the same author. The latter one is the newer version. I'm so excited to get into it, but I highly recommend those because they're just mind blowing. And I would like to make a separate video or even a series on these because there's just so much to say. Yeah, but basically, anxious like probably has a lot to do with fear of abandonment. And there's so much that can be said on that. And then avoidant, I don't really know like what that's based off of, but that's why I got the book so I can learn more about things that are me and are not me, and what I may potentially attract, and how I can become even more secure than what I've been working on myself to become. So, number 9 is leave at the first deal breaker slash red flag. Now, I say this with caution just because, like, oh my god, he leaves socks in his floor, like dip. No, it's not what I'm saying. Something that's like really big or like a deal breaker for you, for example, like for me, I would never date someone that isn't a virgin. Like that cuts off maybe like so much of the population because I myself am like waiting for marriage. Just I have my own personal reasons, but I wouldn't want someone to have already like gotten rid of that, first time experience. To me, that's something that's very important only because I'm doing it myself. I would never ask something of my partner that I was not able to provide unless it's something like obvious gender roles, like men are stronger biologically than women. So there's certain things that men can do that women can do, and there's certain things that women can do that men can't do, such as give birth. Okay, moving on. Number 10, know yourself to keep yourself. Oh my God, this is another big one. This is sort of like independence, but it's deeper than that. So basically, what I said is like before, knowing what you love. So for me, it's like, what does Cadence like to do? What does she not like to do? What are her favorite foods? Her favorite, like, what's her favorite color? Like, all these things. If you go out on a date and you can't answer the questions from the person sitting across from you, then you really need to take some time to self reflect and get to know who you are. The best way to do this is to just like ask yourself common questions. Like you could literally look up questions to ask on a date and just like answer them, or like, just like a get to know you, and that's it. What this is going to do is this is going to build a strong foundation of self so that you don't lose who you are the moment you get into a relationship. If you feel like you don't know who you are, I strongly recommend it. If you feel like you do not love yourself, get to know who you are. I promise you, it works like magic. The moment I like answered questions about myself, and like it's a whole folder in my notes of just things about me, and like it can go on forever, right? All questions under the moon, like fancy questions, simple questions, deep questions, basic questions. Just get to know who you are and watch how much you fall in love with yourself. So many times, like, well, I wish I just knew that, like, the reason why I was having a hard time loving myself is because I didn't know who I was. And sometimes it's just a simple remembrance of who you used to be, or like who you are but forgot who you are. Like, who were you as a child? That's a big question. If you answer that, I promise you, you will love yourself almost immediately. Because I know who I was as a child. As a child, I was very sweet. I was very caring, meek. I was shy. I was very independent per my mom. And man, she was just like this sweet little girl. Like, I would want a daughter like me. I'd say like a younger me. I would like love that, you know what I mean? So that's what made me truly like fall in love with myself. One of those things that made me fall in love with myself is just remembering that. And if you have trouble like answering that question, go to your parents. They like, or whoever raised you, you know what I mean? Whoever was there for you and like knew you and knows who you are. Go to them. Even if it's multiple people, even if it's a friend, ask them, like, who do you think I am? Give me like 3 words or 3 sentences that describe me. I did this to my, well, no, actually, I didn't do this to my family, but after a breakup, my family just randomly, I'm telling you, like, not even in the same room, not even the same household, told me the top 3 without me asking. It was all the same thing. It was beautiful, intelligent, and a big heart. And so I know that is a huge part of who I am because so many people who know me best told me that, and it made me feel very good. Okay. And I do love myself. I'm so happy. I love myself and I love life. I have a birthday of the day that I realized that I love myself, and I remember it specifically, and that I love life. I was in the library, it was sunset, and I was studying, and I was like, oh my God, I love myself and I love life. And like, I went home, and I kid you not, I like cried in my car for like 15 minutes. It's so embarrassing to share, but it's true. And I want to share it because, like, I want to normalize things that are like what people may consider like shameful or whatever. Crying is normal, it's human, it's emotion. For a man and woman, everyone does it and should do it, okay? We have tear ducts for a reason, people. But yeah, it just made me really happy because that was such a big breakthrough moment for me and something that I longed for a really long time. In fact, it was on my vision board, just finding out my new happy and like intertwining my old happy with that, my childhood happiness with what I am and who I am today. So yeah, I was very happy about that breakthrough moment. Number 11, no mothering, just be the hot girlfriend is literally what I have written here, people. I'm so funny. So, to make like a long story short, I did kind of explain this more in the previous video, I believe it was, but basically, I realized that like I do have a very mothering love. I was told this about me before by someone, and then like by other people. I'm just like, okay. Like, I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't see it until I got inside of a relationship, and I'm like, "Oh my God." Like, I literally feel like I'm being a mother to this person, and like I don't think it's a bad thing, but I do think it put like it just wasn't my role. It wasn't my place. You know what I mean? I didn't have to do that. And like I don't want my partner to see me as their mother. And all I have to do is just sit there and look pretty. And like that's it. That's my only job. Not literally, but basically I'm just saying that like I don't have to be a mom to my partner. Like I can just be there, be who I am. And that is enough. Okay? So, number 12 is the same values. This is very important. No relationship is going to work if you guys do not have the same values. things like marriage is forever, and if you're not dating to marry, then what's the point of dating? That is like a big thing for me. I'm not going to sit here and like make you or say yes to being your girlfriend if I do not see you as my potential husband. And I think that's how it should be. If you want to date to have fun, like be boyfriend and girlfriend just for the fun of it, then go ahead. I do believe that like you will learn something from it. Either you will gain a good partnership from it or you'll gain heartbreak from it or something. Either way, there's going to be a lesson in there for you. So you do you. But for me, I'm always going to view it as like this is my forever partner or someone that I want to be my forever partner. Otherwise, I just don't see the point in dating. Like I don't believe in dating for fun. um but yeah. I will say that like when you go on dates, like the courtship type of dating, like going out to a restaurant and like asking each other questions, like those types of things are supposed to be fun. I was talking to my therapist about it and she basically just said like, yeah, there's not supposed to be any pressure. Like it's literally making a friend, basically. She didn't say that, but she just said dating is supposed to be fun. Something else that's not on here that I do wish I put on here, it's probably the biggest one, um, so big in fact that it's the reason why I'm not dating right now and I'm not like open to any type of relationship right now is working on yourself, becoming the best version of yourself before you get into a relationship. This was something that me and oh my god, I feel like calling her a friend because she's just so genuine. But that was really our first time meeting and sitting down and like talking, getting to know each other and everything. And she just told me that like being like becoming a better version of yourself, she's like she believes that it's important that you work on yourself before you get into a relationship. Like you should be securely attached or at least working towards it, you know what I mean? And it is important to have um patience and to be with someone that also has patience. Like that's how a relationship lasts, right? Like you can't keep just giving up on things and expecting it to like work in a long haul for like a forever marriage. There will always be difficulties. I just believe that it's important to grow from those things and like learn. You know what I mean? Learn and apply. What I admire is what she's telling me about her relationship that she had for like 6 years, since 6 years. And when she was explaining it to me, I literally told her that is the healthiest relationship I have ever heard. And she explained to me like everything under the umbrella of independence. But except it was her personal like experiences and everything. You don't want everyone's going to have baggage, right? When you get into a relationship, but you don't want to bring unnecessary baggage. And that's unnecessary baggage are things that you don't need to bring into a relationship, things that you can work on right now while you're outside of a relationship. I'm not saying you're going to be perfect when you get inside of a relationship, but I'm not saying your partner is going to be perfect. We should never expect perfection of our partners nor of ourselves. And how we treat other people with kindness and everything and grace and all those things is how we should treat ourselves as well and view ourselves the same way with the same kindness that we view with and for other people. um but yeah, when you get inside of a relationship, because you're going to have flaws and everything, and because that partnership is going to test you differently than you're tested when you're single, and it's going to push you and it's going to make you work to become even better, um it's important that you also work on yourself whenever you get inside of a relationship. It's like going to the gym. Okay, like you want to attract, like your partner, and you go to the gym and you get really fit because that's just what animals do. You can look at nature and look in the wild, and that's what they do, right? Sorry, I don't know what happened to my voice. That's what they do, right? So, this is so. Man, that was so funny. What was that? Okay. Oh my god. Retry. That's what they do, right? So, whenever you get that partner, that doesn't mean that you stop going to the gym. that means you continue to work out and you continue to work on yourself, whether that be because you want to have a long life for your kids and your grandkids, or just because your motivation in the first place should be, I want to work on myself for myself and I want to feel good about myself and I want to feel better. It doesn't have to be like I want to feel physically better about myself. If that's your goal, good, keep it and work at it. But also like feel good on the inside. Exercising is so good for the inside. Basically, I'm just saying for that is like have good reasons, good intentions and everything. So, but as far as like becoming the best version of yourself before you get into a relationship, and like whenever you get into a relationship, don't let all of that hard work go to the wayside. Put it into practice. Like if you're in a relationship and your partner realizes that, like, you know, when you argue, you scream and you yell and you cuss and they don't like that, don't keep doing it. Like, pause, take a step back and work on it and find why, what's the root cause of this, whether it be because it's just, what you learned, or because you feel like big emotions, so then you express them in big ways. In that case, it's just emotional regulation. You put that into practice. And I'll always mention therapy because it's just so big. It's like you think of it as like a class. There's so much that we don't learn. We don't learn how to control or express our emotions in healthy ways when we go to the class. When we go to class, we learn how to write. We don't learn how to speak. I mean, we learn how to speak, but not like, you know, with people. We don't learn how to communicate in the best way possible. So when there's an issue there, and especially if your partner is telling you about it, it's not a time to get defensive. It's not a time to put walls up. It's a time to really let your walls down and listen to what your partner is saying and understand what they're saying and where they're coming from as a place of love. And then humble yourself to be like, you're right, I'm sorry. And then don't stop there. Make a plan for what you're going to do in the future, for how you're going to change. And for people who are like, oh, I don't want my partner changing when I get into a relationship, change can be good. There's, if you can change for the worse, you can change for the better. And I believe in good change so much. And I believe it's possible. You just have to be willing to do it. And if I do believe that if you love your partner, you will do it. You will change for the better. Okay? Like if you're just like, again, arguing, for example, and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna stop arguing because that's just who I am. And like, I don't know, like something like that. What? Like, do you not love your partner enough to be like, okay, you love your partner more than you love your pride? Okay, that's all I gotta say. Don't come at me, but like, so yeah, that's probably like the biggest one. I don't think that we belong in a relationship until we have worked on ourselves. But I do believe it's okay to be in a relationship as you are working on yourself, as long as you just keep those boundaries to continue working on yourself, no matter how far along you get in the relationship. Don't get lazy, don't slack off, just like how you would want your partner to continue dating you, even after they already have you. Continue to work on yourself, even after you already have them. Okay? And that goes for both sexes, men and women. All right. Just making sure I touched everything on having the same values. Like, it's so big, right? Like, it's not wise to date someone who wants kids when you don't want kids. It's not wise to date someone when like that doesn't agree on how you're going to teach your future kids about religion. That poor child will be so confused. And like, for example, me personally, I want to raise my kids with good morals, with respect, because those were like the things that really drove me to who I am today as a good person. Um, I'm not gonna go off and like I was raised with Christian beliefs, but I'm not gonna go off and date someone who's like Buddhist, because then like they're gonna be teaching or want to be teaching about Buddha, and I'm gonna want to be teaching about Jesus Christ. I can't do that to the poor child. And a huge reason why I want to teach my kids, um, about God is just because of this one song. I'm gonna read you the lyrics actually because it was like it's called "Too Sad to Cry" by Sasha Alex Sloan. And the lyrics say, wasn't raised religious, but I wish that I was. Having nothing to believe in has been killing my buzz. Literally, no truer statement has been said. I just believe that it's a good foundation in life. Like, when you have literally nothing else, it's so important to have someone that isn't tangible. And it's a lot easier to believe when you're taught to believe than like when you get older and you struggle. And then it's like, well, now what? And you don't have that foundation to like turn to. You know what I mean? To me, that's very sad. Like, if I had a choice growing up, I would rather have that foundation than not have that foundation. Because I know when I get older, it would be harder to have that foundation. But yeah, basically just having the same values is very important. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of Hashtag Pick Me. I hope you liked it and enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss another video. Oh yeah, and share and comment. I'm so sleepy. um, and um, major brain fart. My brain took a dump. Let me get off of here. Bye, guys. I'm so silly. That's another thing. Like, if you know that you're a silly, goofy person, it's probably important to like be with someone that loves that side of you so you don't have to hide it. You know you're dating the right person when they take all your insecurities and they make you feel 10 times better about them. Not makes you insecure about things that you've never even been insecure about or have thought to be insecure about. You know you're dating the right person when they take all your insecurities and they make you feel 10 times better about them. Not makes you insecure about things that you've never even been insecure about or have thought to be insecure about. Okay? Okay. Promise me? Pinky promise? You got it. Hey. Bye bye.